Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cinema Wiseman. I'm Mason.
I'm Andy.
And in honor of St. Patty's Day, we got our gold, we got
our green beer,
our green shirts, our goofy green hats. Yeah, I'm wearing a small little hat because not like any normal hat will fit my big bulbous head. Anyhow, we're going to review Leprechaun.
This movie's so terrible.
It's so terrible, but it is so good though.
It's shitty. It's so bad. I used to be so scared of this movie as a kid, and now it's so dumb.
Yeah, I lived on this. I remember watching this one and then the first Leprechaun in the Hood, which I don't think I probably should have been watching at that age, but...
I watched that once. I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, I watched this way more as a kid. I had watched it in years and revisiting as an adult. Whoa.
It's bad. But, so, the movie starts out, and it's like a flashback. It starts out in 1983. Dan O'Grady catches a leprechaun, and the leprechaun has to tell him where his gold is. So he's in Ireland for his mom's funeral, and he comes home all pimped out in a limo to his little farm in North Dakota.
I wonder why the wife didn't go.
Maybe she didn't like her mother-in-law. Maybe she was glad she was dead. I don't know. But she's like, Dan, what's going on with this limo? And he's like, we're rich. And she doesn't believe him. She thinks he's crazy. So he goes
he's drunk
out.
as shit, too.
Yeah, he's like real,
He's a whole bottle of Jameson and...
he's real drunk. So she goes in to make him some tea, and she can hear a little kid singing in his suitcase, which used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. It's still kind of creepy.
It is creepy.
Because the kid's like singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. No, Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah.
And then it's like, help, I can't breathe. And then she goes to open the suitcase, because I don't know why she'd think there's actually a kid in there.
I don't know.
But she opens it, and the fucking leprechaun jumps out.
Because that's most horror movie formulas. You have some situation where you shouldn't open something, and you go and open it.
Well, I would be like, why does my husband have a child stuffed in a suitcase?
Well...
I wouldn't be like, oh, I should open this. I'd be like, what the hell's going on, Dan?
Well, you're already at the where the hell did you get all the money part.
Well, yeah. So anyways, Leprechaun jumps out, and it startles her, and she fucking backflips down the basement stairs.
She falls down the stairs. It's pretty good.
Yeah, like he doesn't even actually kill her. She just gets scared and dies. So then Dan comes back in because he hid the gold. That's what he was doing. He was out hiding the gold.
Yeah.
And he, like, the leprechaun's doing the wife's voice, like, Dan, where'd you hide the gold? And he immediately thinks something's off, which I don't know why, but... And the leprechaun comes in with the tea that that the wife made him.
Yeah.
And...
Scares the shit out of him because he thought he got rid of him. But of course not. He's gonna follow him.
He's magical, you dumbass. He's going to find his gold. So, they fight, he shoots him, and then he crates him up in the basement... And
he puts a 4-leaf clover on, but also the fact that his powers are weak.
Yeah,
that's how he's able to defeat him.
Yet he has enough power to get to North Dakota, but he doesn't have enough power to kill this old ass man.
Well, what power do you need to hide in a suitcase? Well, besides not suffocate. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Anyway,
Dumb.
he puts a 4-leaf clover on this crate, and then he goes to like burn down the house, but of course he like strokes out just as he like lights the match, and he drops it. And
yeah, I was kind of wondering how he's going to explain his wife's broken neck laying down at the bottom of the stairs.
No, he brought her upstairs.
I know, but
he didn't want to Gilbert grape her. He was going to take her out of the house and not burn her up in it. But he had a stroke first.
I just like the fact that he already had a 4-leaf clover with him.
Yeah,
so he knew in the back of his mind that the little fucker was going to show up at some point.
I guess. But then, so it flash forward 10 years, and Jennifer Aniston, her name's Tori, of course it is.
The dad really didn't have much explanation. Like he was,
No, he's like fixing up the house. I don't know. It doesn't.
He's not there long enough to really know much about him. Spoiler alert.
And she immediately wants to get a hotel with her portable phone. She keeps calling it a portable phone because it's 1993.
Well, at least she didn't call it a Zach Morris phone.
It was a Zach Morris phone. But then she sees this painter who's painting the house like bright blue and red shutters. Like, it's hideous.
But if it has like white door trim, it'd be very patriotic.
Oh God. So his name is Nathan, and she thinks he's hot, so she decides she's not gonna get a hotel. So she starts, macking it with him. And then
Yeah,
Nathan and his little brother Alex, who's like 10 years old, so I'm pretty sure there's like child labor laws that are not being
The kid
checked
didn't
up
do
on.
shit.
Except talk shit.
Well, yeah, that's
And then his friend Ozzy, who is Francis from
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, and he's such an asshole, but in this movie he's like special. And then his shirt just has like paintbrushes all over it. It's very childlike and adorable. But so Alex and Ozzy are those two, and they're three guys that paint. That's their company name. Super clever. So they start talking, and she's like, "Oh, he's cute," so she doesn't need to go stay in a hotel. And so Alex is screwing around on a ladder and knocks paint on Ozzy's head, because of course. So poor Ozzy has to go in the house and get cleaned up, and he can hear a little kid in the basement singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star." So he goes down there and he brushes the 4-leaf clover off the top of the crate, and the fucking leprechaun jumps out, and
Yeah, it wakes him up, which I thought was kind of...
yeah, well, and then he like comes busting out like the fucking Kool-Aid man.
But apparently it took him 10 years to heal.
Yeah,
Cause
and then Ozzy's like, "What are you?" And he's like, "I'm a leprechaun." And then
How the fuck can you not tell?
and then Ozzy goes fucking hauling ass outside, and he's like, "Oh my god, there's a leprechaun in the basement." But because Ozzy's special, nobody believes him. So they all go down there and they start investigating, and they find a rat. So they're just like, "Oh, Ozzy's an idiot and thinks a rat
It's
is a
rat from
leprechaun." Like, poor Ozzy.
Now, if the rat had a little green outfit on. What?
Why would they do that? There was no budget to this movie.
Well, why? How fucking dumb would you have to think that, oh, you can't tell the difference between a rat and a leprechaun?
Because Ozzy's special. Anyways, so they go outside, and just as they go outside, there's like the more you know rainbow shows up over the house. They're literally like, woo, over the house. So Ozzy's like, "Oh, there's always gold at the end of the rainbow." So he starts running away, and Alex is like, I'll keep an eye on him," because a child has to keep an eye on this man.
You know how far away that would probably be, though? He's
Well, no,
never thought-
it's just out in the backyard.
Oh, right, movie magic, I forgot. It's only right in the backyard.
It ends up right at the rusted out truck that O'Grady put the gold in. So they find the gold, and fucking Ozzy, they open the bag and they're like, "Oh, it's gold." So, like people bite gold. He literally just puts it in his mouth and fucking swallows it. Like, he's like, "Oh, I think I swallowed it." How do you think you swallowed it?
Yeah, either you did or you didn't. Or you just didn't choke on the damn thing.
And, like, Alex is like, "Well, we should go see if this is real, because if it's real, we can get you an operation to fix your brain," is literally what he says.
Yeah,
that
but
is so sad that a little boy
that
wants
is
to
so
fix his
sad,
brain.
but that is really nice, though, because most people, they'd find that
Because
gold...
Ozzy wanted to get comic books. Tori and Nathan are flirting, and he's teaching her how to paint, because up and down, it's not hard. Anyway.
There's more to it than just that.
Anyway, he's like, "Oh, there's another paintbrush in the back of the truck," so she goes over there. Even though Nathan's behind her, and she's in the truck, and she feels something stroking her leg, and she thinks it's Nathan. I don't know how quickly he could, like, slide under the truck.
He's a smooth guy.
Anyways, she's like, "Oh, it must be Nathan. It's the fucking leprechaun." He, like, scratches the shit out of her leg, and she starts freaking out. And her dad runs over, and then you hear a cat. So the dad's like, "Oh, it's probably just this cat." So he goes over to this fucking log, and he's like, "Here, kitty, kitty." He puts his hand in there. And that fucking leprechaun, like, annihilates his hand. Like, so bad.
You don't stick your hand in areas where you can't see.
You don't... God, how would a cat get in a hole, like, this big?
Sure, her dad wasn't Ozzy's dad. I'm just saying.
That's terrible. Anyway, so they have to take the dad to the hospital. So they all, like, jump in their truck, and you learn that the truck's a piece of shit. I mean, looking at it, you know it's a piece of shit. But it doesn't start.
Where the fuck was the nearest hospital? It was
Where was the nearest house? There's literally nothing out there.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You go to the town, it's probably the local hospital / veterinarian / party store all in one
Probably.
building.
But so they take the dad to the ER, and so Tori, Nathan, and Dad go in the ER, and Ozzy and Alex decide to go to the pawn shop. And they show the coin to the pawn shop guy, who looks like Stephen Ray from The Crying Game.
He does.
But it's not, because he would never do a shit movie like this.
I just love the fact that he goes to close and,
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, look at this coin." So he like, "Oh, sure, come on in." And they're in like this little podunk town in North Dakota. Like, he knows like ancient coins. But anyways, he's like, "Hey, can I keep this overnight?" And Like, study it.
I'm like, fuck no.
So, I forgot to mention, because this is the best part. As they drive off to go to the hospital, the fucking leprechaun goes in the barn and comes speeding out on a fucking tricycle to follow.
Yeah, it was like, they should have played, what was that, Benny Hinn?
Benny Hill? No, Benny Hinn is like
oh, yeah.
the church guy.
Oh, yeah, Benny Hill. The guy who does the always did
Yeah, it was like super fast.
You have to admit, it'd been funny if it was the other guy. He just touches heels at everybody.
Ozzy's healed. So, going to hell. Anyway, so he closes up and he starts reading the book on all these ancient coins, and then all of a sudden the fucking leprechaun's in there. And he gets the coin back. But then, he can't just leave. He has to kill this poor man. So he gets a fucking pogo stick, because who pawns a pogo stick?
You ever been in a pawn shop? They'll take fucking anything.
Well, anyway, so of course, he's singing and he like fucking stabs the guy to death with a pogo stick.
That was like the best, I think, out of all the kills.
That's pretty good.
I would say out of the whole franchise, that is like the best
in the
kill.
whole scene, they keep kind of panning over to this fucking power wheel in the corner, so you know something's going to happen with the power wheel. So he ditches the tricycle and gets the power wheel. So the four of them, Tori, Alex, Nathan, and Ozzy, go back to the little shitty ass house. But because he has a power wheel, the leprechaun got there first, and he like ransacked the house and shined all the shoes. Because apparently that's what leprechauns do. I didn't know that.
That was his weakness. Like, whenever he saw a shoe, he had to pick it up.
He had to shine the shoes. So they get back to the house, and the house is like ransacked. Like, there's food all over the floor, and all the shoes are shined. They're like, what the hell's going on? So, Nathan goes outside to see what's going on. Because he's like, oh, clearly it was an animal, because it's always some animal. Mm-hmm. So he goes out there, and there's just I don't know how he didn't see it. There's nothing in the yard, but he trips and falls on a fucking bear trap.
Yeah, well, no offense, that bear trap wasn't very big, and it was supposed to be dark.
Well, anyway, he falls on the bear trap, so he's screaming.
That's pretty
and as he's out there screaming, the fucking, like, Tori comes out, like, what's going on? And the fucking leprechaun starts attacking him, and they're like, what is this? Like, it's clearly a fucking little person. Like, don't be so ignorant.
It's the rat from downstairs.
It's the rat.
That's what Ozzy should have said.
It's the rat.
Should have been a smart ass.
So, like, they're freaking out. Nathan shoots it, like, once, but then he, like, unloads on, like, a trash can, and he's like, I shot it, like, 6 times. He did not. Fucking liar.
Well, I
so they're like, Ozzy, call the cops. So Ozzy's basically Chunk, and he runs in the house, and he, like, calls the sheriff, and he's like, there's a leprechaun. So, of course, they don't fucking believe
They're
him.
like, okay, have a good night.
And then they laugh, just like in the Goonies, and it's just, like, what was it, the old people at the Sizzler or whatever?
I don't. All I know is of all the competent people who could call, let's have him.
Have the kid call.
Yeah, but the kid's probably done the same shit though.
Yeah, so they call the cops, and Ozzy comes on. He's like, "Oh yeah, the cops are coming. It's totally fine." So then they realize, oh, he told the cops it's the leprechaun. The cops aren't fucking coming. So they're like, well, we got to figure out what to do. So they regroup.
Thank God the movie didn't take place on St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah, so, like, Tori cleans up Nathan's leg and stuff, and they're kind of just hanging out in the house trying to calm down. So while they're waiting for the cops, the guys are talking. Ozzy and Alex are talking, and Ozzy's like, what will we do? And Alex is like, well, I would just unload a shotgun on him, and the guy's gone with a capital dead. That's a great thing to say.
You think a shotgun would have blown that little fucker in half.
I know! Like, Nathan shot him, and he, like, fucking flew back, like, 10 feet, but he's fine. Even though he has 1 piece of gold. That's all he has from the pawn shop guy.
Yeah.
So, like, apparently he's indestructible now, because he's got that 1 piece of gold. But
I'm indestructible now.
So they're hanging out in the house, and, all of a sudden, the fucking leprechaun, like, comes busting up through the floor.
Yeah.
And then, like, they're freaking out, but as they pan away, you see the floor, and they literally painted, like, a black hole.
That's like the same shit you see in like
Evil
You see in
Dead.
Evil Dead when he busts through the door, but then you see the next shot and he clearly just painted the holes in the door.
So they're like fighting in the kitchen, and the fucking leprechaun grabs poor Nathan's nuts through, because they're playing like whack-a-mole through the cupboards, like shooting, and he's like bouncing out. And as he's like looking in the one cupboard, he comes out of the drawer and like grabs him. Fucking ridiculous. So then he disappears for a minute. So like Ozzy tells him, "Hey, it's a leprechaun. We hid the gold." So like Tori at this point will do anything to try to stop this.
Of course, my thought is, why didn't they say something sooner?
Ozzy's been saying it's a leprechaun the whole fucking time.
No, like the part about the fucking gold.
Well, yeah, fine. Well, because
Gold leprechaun.
Because Alex is greedy. Anyways, so Alex tells Tori, "Hey, we hid it in the well," and Tori's like, "Why didn't you tell me?" And he's like, "Well, we were gonna fix Ozzy's brain." And Tori's like, "You can't fix Ozzy's brain."
I like they had like a heartfelt moment there. Like,
yeah,
like they could.
Tori's like, Tori was kind of a bitch about it. She's like, "You can't fix Ozzy's brain," and Alex is like, "I know that, but Ozzy doesn't." So he's like, "Hey, we put it out in the bucket in the well." So she goes out there and she's like pulling the bucket up, and just as it like comes up and she grabs it, the fucking leprechaun shows up, and he's like, "Ooh, me gold." She's like, "What are you?" And he's like, "I'm a leprechaun." So like
for the fourth time.
like he looks like a fucking leprechaun. He's got a fucking hat on.
That's like a troll with a leprechaun.
He's got the sweet ass buckle shoes. He looks like a fucking leprechaun, okay? I don't know why they thought it was a rat, but he's not.
I don't know. I would take him to a dentist. Melt
He's
some of these things down and give him some gold fronts.
He used to scare the fuck out of me as a kid.
Like, that's like, you show his teeth to little kids and go, "This is what happens when you don't brush."
It's Warwick Davis from, like, Willow, and I loved Willow as a kid.
He's a great actor. He's just a great actor.
Which, it was his idea to make it kind of a funny movie and not straight up scary, but it's not even funny. It's just, like,
the problem with that,
it's so stupid it's funny, but
I think the issue with the movie, and we're trailing off, I don't care, is that I don't think they knew what audience they were going for.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like they were going to go for a horror movie, but then they threw comedy in it. And I feel the balance is a little off at times, where it almost, to me, seems like it could almost pass as a Goosebumps episode.
Yeah, because there's, like, one part.
There's a couple gore scenes, but you cut those gore scenes, it's not that scary.
Well, so, like, she gets in the house, she's like, "I took care of it. It's taken care of." And then, so they're like, relaxing, and,
why the hell they believe her? I'd believe...
Right. They've known this chick for, like, 8 hours. Like...
Where did her cell phone go?
Her portable phone is in her tiny little purse that only fits a portable phone.
Sorry.
Because the house phone doesn't work. Because the phone rang at one point, and it literally turned into, like, fucking...
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, because, like, she's, like, talking, and his little leprechaun hand came out, like Freddy's tongue did, and...
Freddy's tongue was so much better.
Like, it's this little, like... It looked like a chicken foot. It was so bad. She's like...
Hello?
Like robot chicken. It's so bad. And, so they try to escape, but poor Nathan can barely run. So they get in the truck, and then suddenly, which is a continuity thing, but they're in the truck, and fucking the leprechaun comes out of the barn, and you think it's the Power Wheel, but you see the Power Wheel later.
No, yeah, it's another go-kart.
Apparently the O'Grady's had a go-kart at some point, but he turned it into, like, the fucking Death Mobile from Animal House, and he has, like, a pitchfork on it. And this fucking little Shriners car, remember the Shriners?
Yeah.
He fucking manages to flip this truck over.
He hit it hard. He T-boned it to flip it.
This is after he attacked them, and Tori put the car lighter on his nose. Because he had busted through the windshield, and, like, Mike Tyson poor Ozzy's ear. Remember, he's like, "My ear, I'm bleeding to death." He's fine.
Could you mention Mike Tyson as a leprechaun?
With my gold. So they're back in the house, and like I still cannot figure out where the fuck the skateboard came from, because they're like trying. I don't know how they have so many shotgun shells, but anyways, they go to shoot the leprechaun, and like Tori and Nathan are in the hallway, and the fucking leprechaun keeps like blowing by the hallway on the leprechaun or on the
He's riding another
He's on
leprechaun.
a leprechaun. That's a totally different movie.
This is why you don't have green beer on a leprechaun.
Shut up. So he's buzzing by the hallway on a skateboard, but each time he buzzes by, it's like a different pose. Anyways, there's nowhere to even fucking skateboard. It's literally
it's fucking
all
dirt road. You're gonna hit one rock, your ass is going.
There's not even grass. It's literally just fucking dirt. So they're like, we gotta get the cops here ourselves. So they go and they devise a plan for Tori to escape. So
why don't they just fucking call and say the house is on fire?
Remember, he came through the phone, so they don't have a phone, and her portable phone. She called the cop, and she's like, oh my god, help! And it was the cop voice, but it was the cop that the leprechaun killed earlier on. It wasn't important. That scene went on way too long. He killed a cop earlier. It doesn't matter. So anyway, so they're like, oh, I'm 2 minutes out. I'll be right there. So she thinks, oh, we're fine, but the cop never shows up. So they devise a plan for Tori to run to O'Grady, because they're like, well, O'Grady must know what to do, because
he's been sitting in a nursing home for the last 10 years.
He's the one that must have created him up. So she has Nathan and Ozzy go out with this big box, and you're like, what the fuck's in the box? So the leprechaun comes fucking screaming out of nowhere, and she comes around, she's like, now! And they start fucking throwing shoes at him, and he's like, oh!
They're like throwing them all around.
And he like runs and like, he can't shine them fast. So as she goes to drive away, he somehow fucking, he still only has, no, he has 99 coins, because he counted them and realized there's one coin missing. That's what he's pissed about. I forgot to bring that up. I'm a little drunk. I'm sorry. So he realizes he's missing a coin. He wants that fucking coin. He's petty as fuck. But anyways.
That's how you stay rich.
So anyways, she goes driving off to the rest home in Pig's Knuckle, Arkansas. So she goes driving off. And suddenly he's hanging on the back of her fucking Jeep like Marty McFly on his fucking roller skates, which is fucking comical as hell. And she like blows through a stop sign and like turns real fast, and he goes flying through a fucking fence. And it's like a big ass like silhouette, but
it's like shit out of a cartoon.
It's so fucking dumb.
I know, it's funny.
So then she ends up at the nursing home, and of course the night watchman's sleeping, and so she goes looking for his room, and she finds O'Grady's room. And it's like, what, like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? Like, he's even gonna be fucking awake. And, you know, all his lights in his room are on. And then he's staring at the wall in the corner in a wheelchair like, come on, you can't be that fucking dumb, Tori.
It's a classic cliche. You know.
So she's like, Mr. O'Grady, he's out. And, he's like, where's me gold? And he turns around, he's in a fucking wheelchair, and he starts, like, fucking chasing her. She's like, oh my god! Yeah, and it sounds like a fucking car. It's like,
yeah, he screeches his shit, and it's like, come on.
It's so bad. So she finally gets into an elevator, and it, like, as she's, you know, waiting to get out of the elevator, the fucking, something comes falling through the roof, and the ceiling of it, and it's fucking O'Grady.
Yeah.
Slashed to shit. I don't know how the fuck he's still alive.
How the fuck did he get up there is the real question.
Maybe he blasted him with the wheelchair and he like flew. I don't. Anyway.
Or he chased him up to the top floor and
she's like, how do we kill him, Mr. O'Grady? And he's like, you gotta get a 4-leaf clover. I have a whole patch of clovers by the well, which doesn't make sense because the fucking leprechaun was there, and he can like, they're like kryptonite, like he can feel.
Well, yeah, he felt it. He could feel it through a crate, but when he confronted her character, I can't remember her name, Jennifer Aniston's character, right in the patch. So you think I'm gonna get you, he would like, wait a minute, there's a fucking 4-leaf in here, I can't stand here.
Yeah, so she's like, oh god, so I gotta get back to, so she hauls ass back to the stupid house. So they run back to the patch. She's like, we gotta get a 4-leaf clover. So they're looking. The lighting is ridiculous. Like, it's just like this heavy green light on the patch.
I was waiting to hear like angel voices, like, oh.
Yeah, like it's really bad lighting.
It's so obvious. It's like.
Yeah, so she's like pissed. She's like, I'll never find it. And Ozzy's like, you just have to believe in yourself. You have to believe.
But it wasn't due to a lack of trying.
Yeah, so she like fucking pulls up like half of the patch and just like looks down, and it's like a fucking. It's like the biggest fucking 4-leaf clover I've ever fucking seen. They're like, oh my god, we got it. We're saved. And so Alex fucking wanders off because he's 10 and that's what 10-year-olds do. And he ends up in the fucking barn for some reason. And he's just hanging out in there and the fucking, they pan up and you see his little fucking leprechaun buckle shoes fucking hanging down. And his fucking wicked witch socks. And
is his legs really that big?
they're like me.
You just... Coming for me good!
So
his legs are like fucking hot dogs.
So poor Alex is like, the leprechaun's like, I want me gold, and he like attacks Alex, and Alex is like, help, he's gonna kill me. The kid himself could kill this fucking thing. Like, it's smaller than the kid. Just fucking Chuck Norris kick him and
kick one of his little hot dog legs.
So Ozzy runs in. He's like, hey, don't leave him alone. I'm the one that I swallowed your coin. So fucking leprechaun's like, well, fuck this, and he takes his buckle off.
He's gonna shank him with a...
He's like fucking in the prison or something. Fucking pulls his buckle off and starts fucking slashing poor Ozzy in the gut. Poor fucking Ozzy. He's had a bad night. His ears gone.
He's got a coin stuck in his stomach. He's getting shanked like he's in the lunch line in prison.
All fucked because he got all that fucking blue paint on it.
And he wanted to keep those nice.
He wanted to keep those nice. So he's like, help, and so...
Why didn't he just fucking kick him? He's 300 times the size of him.
He's like... He's at least 300 pounds.
God.
It's like throwing a fucking baby. Just fucking throw him, man.
I would just kick him.
Anyway, he's freaking out, so... Because Alex is a good friend, he goes and grabs the 4-leaf clover from Tori, and he pulls his gum out and puts it in his gum. And he carries a fucking slingshot like Bart Simpson the whole fucking movie.
Hey, a lot of hey, don't forget Dennis the Menace had one.
Nobody gives a shit about Dennis the Menace. Anyways, so he's like, hey, you leprechaun! Because he has a name, apparently, but they never say it. But if you look at Wikipedia, he has a name. It's like Ludbon or...
Well, yeah, but he's not... Does he introduce himself as that?
Oh, hello, miss. My name is Ludbon. I need my gold back.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he's like, hey, you! And he's like, fuck you, Lucky Charms. And he fucking, like, slingshots it, and it hits him right in the hanging ball in the back of his throat. So he's like,
so you're saying he got skull fucked again?
No, man. He got skull fucked by the Billy Club from the cop. So, anyways, he fucking, like... And he, like, fucking backflips down the fucking well.
Yes, the force of that was so strong.
Yeah, so then classic, you think they're dead. They're like, oh, it's over. And then all of a sudden he's like, I want me gold. And he's like all, like, fucking gnarly, like one of the gremlins when they're all burned.
I totally thought that, like Gremlins Part 2.
So Nathan fucking shoots him, and he, like, falls down again, and then they, like, blow up the well. So then finally fucking Dawn, the fucking... piece of shit cops finally fucking
they showed up literally.
They're like, oh, that's weird. The one cop never came in, and I don't know. So they come out, and, as they're, dealing with shit, there's, like, they pan out, and fucking voiceover, and it's the fucking leprechaun. Basically saying he'll be back.
There's going to be a sequel.
He's back, like, 5 fucking times.
Okay.
So, anyways, this movie is terrible. It's so bad it's good, though. I'm not even going to rate this movie because you can't rate it on a normal scale. Because, like, a 1 out of 10 of, like, good movies is, like, a 2. But, like, the 1 out of 10 of shitty movies, it's, like...
Yeah.
100. 100 gold coins is this movie. Because it is so fucking dumb.
I remember seeing the second one. I've never seen the second one.
Something about sneezing. You sneeze 3 times and you become his wife. Every time I sneeze at least 3 times.
I don't remember. I need to watch it again because I remember seeing it in theaters. And
why? So I don't know what the fuck I was scared of as a kid. I mean, I'm scared of everything.
She's still scared of the dark.
I am. That's why my glasses glow in the dark. It's true.
Well, we'll rate this as a number 100 gold coins in the shitty movie.
Yeah. So I hope you guys have a good. I almost said Thanksgiving.
You should have.
I need to stop drinking.
St. Paddy's Day.
And yeah.
And also, if you see a leprechaun, give him his fucking gold back.
Don't swallow it, man, because he'll fucking eat your ear, ruin your fucking overalls.
And you know what? Gold coins taste like shit.
And
that's how I would
that's
look
gonna
at it.
hurt coming out, bro.
Unless he shits change.
Or it's like a rolled up dollar.
He shits a dollar. It's like an ATM machine. But, you know, I think that will do.
So, if you like this,
Hit the subscribe button.
yes, please. Leave some comments. I like comments. As long as they're not mean and hurtful, because that's not cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm sensitive. Shocker.
I'm not.
Oh, I want to do that.
So you know what? Have a happy St. Paddy's Day.
Yeah.
And we will see you all next time.
Yeah.
Get drunk. Be merry.
This is Andy. That's Mace.
I am Mace. Until then.
Happy St. Paddy's Day.
Stay wise.
Bye, guys.